Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel. And it's Saturday and it's 5 o'clock, and that means we're actually doing a Star Trek stream today.
Hmm.
And we've made it through all 10 movies. Now we're talking about the one that's almost as bad as Star Trek 5, because nothing is as bad as Star Trek 5.
That's fair.
Um, we're talking about Nemesis today. And full disclosure, I did not get a chance to rewatch Nemesis because my day was a lot more busy than I thought it would be. But I do remember what made me unhappy, shall we say, about Nemesis. Um, to summarize the movie very quickly, it is about a subclass or like a would you call them a subclass, like a secondary species of Romulan, or would you say that there
Yeah,
are?
a little tiny bit of background, I guess, is in order. In Star Trek canon,
Yes.
Remus doesn't exist until this movie.
Yeah. All of
Now,
a sudden.
suddenly,
so,
suddenly
so,
there's a moon that goes around Romulus called Remus. Now, the moon is referenced in a another uh, episode of Star Trek, and it's called Romai, I think. Uh, but it's never called Remus anywhere else. So suddenly it's called Remus. It's
yes.
tidally locked to Romulus. So one side always faces Romulus, and for some reason that makes that makes one side uninhabitable, as though it was always facing the sun. That's never explained, but we're just asked to swallow that, okay?
Yep.
And of course, the astronomy, so many people who watch Star Trek are astronomy people. They just go, wrong, you know, what the fuck, you know, uh, uh, you first of all, there's so many things wrong with that. So anyway, but let's just say, okay, it's Star Trek, so we swallow that. We'll swallow that. There's no reason for one side to be uninhabitable and the other side to be habitable. And but it seems like it would work like our moon, where one side would get just as much light as the other side, even though it's tidally locked to the planet that it's orbiting around. But we'll say, okay, one side gets all the light, one side gets none of the light. That would indicate there's just so much wrong with that. It makes me insane.
Is it possible that Remus is, besides being tidally locked, that it doesn't have its own magnetosphere and it's using
Maybe.
Romulus's magnetic sphere, and that magnetic sphere only covers half of Remus? So one side is protected from solar wind, the other side gets all the radiation.
I
Well,
might be able to buy that.
that's not what makes that. Well, yeah,
Maybe.
maybe that's what it is.
I was trying to
Okay,
think of a justification, but
Yeah.
that's the
sure,
only thing I come up with on quick notice.
sure,
Hello,
maybe.
Costin. Hello, Dectran. Hello, people
Costin.
for coming in.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
so anyway, but let's skip on with that. So suddenly there's a moon called Remus, and suddenly it's populated with a subcaste of Romulans. They're kind of Romulans, but they're kind of the well, a subcaste, an untouchable caste of Romulans who are incredible warriors. Why are they incredible warriors? That's never
We don't
explained.
know.
And it never will be explained. The viewer is left to wonder, scratch their heads throughout the movies, why these insanely great Remans are insanely great warriors, because all they have ever been is slave miners in the dilithium mines that the only thing that this moon is good for.
And
So this,
Maybe it's genetics.
if they're
yeah,
a subcast,
yeah, exactly.
if they're a
They can dance.
subcast, why do they get their own goddamn moon?
Exactly.
Is Remus a moon, or is it just a binary planet system?
I think
It
it's
is
a moon.
it's a moon. Well, what's the difference? I mean,
Well, moons are much smaller than planets. I was just curious about the size difference, if there was one. Did they ever go into that detail?
our
I
moon
don't think so.
is relatively large for a moon, and they didn't say what its size was really in relation to Romulus. The one time you got to look at it, it looked like it had a similar size ratio to our moon to Earth. I
Ah,
would say it was similar, but
okay.
the one shot that you get.
Deck
But
Trance's
anyway,
Nemesis had the best tech and weapons. I guess. But they had to make something really cool and flashy to make everyone stay. It was,
yeah.
I'm sorry. And then
Why did they have the best? Okay, they're a slave race.
It's pretty
Okay,
funny.
they're a slave race of miners, so of course they have the most advanced technology because that makes sense, right?
But also,
Are they
no,
dwarves?
he's saying the movie had the best tech and weapon. Like the
the movie
Deck
itself,
Trans
yeah.
saying movie The Nemesis had the best
That ship was
tech
pretty cool.
and weapons.
The ship was awesome. I will say the scimitar was it was an excellent ship.
I would also like to point out that so not only do we have this race of people that we've never heard about in all of Star Trek canon, even though we've heard plenty about the Romulans.
But they're much greater warriors than the Romulans.
But they're much greater
we
warriors
haven't
than
heard
the
about them.
Romulans for some reason. And the Romulans are pretty good warriors too. Like look at the Tal Shiar and all that. Right?
Oh yeah, but they can't hold a candle.
But
These guys who we haven't heard about.
But then, oh no, they actually say, Costin, in the movie that they are... Oh, he said, I never thought as Remans as Romulans until the internet. I always thought of them as an indigenous species. No, they were like some sort of subcaste of the Romulan
They actually
race.
use that term subcast.
Yeah. But not only are we supposed to believe that these people exist and we've never heard of them before, but they also have some reason for cloning Picard.
Right. So they do
For
what
some reason.
so they do what any slave subcast of Amazing Warriors do. They clone Picard.
They clone the captain of the flagship of the Federation for
right, as
reasons.
you do, like you do.
Yes, Tom Hardy did play young Picard, and he did an alright job. Like,
Yep.
Did an okay job, I guess, but... And his name was Shinzon, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Shinzon.
Like the dog.
Like
the
the
Shih Tzu. Sorry.
Shih Tzu.
It's...
So anyways, and he's Picard's clone, and my overall feel for this thing was there just wasn't enough meat there for a movie.
Do you know what got me really excited when I saw this movie at first? Because when I saw Star Trek Nemesis, and the way that it started, right? Because we have Picard, like we have Deanna and Riker's wedding, right?
Yes.
And we have Picard, or we have Data being the MC, which is just hilarious. And we finally have Picard telling Data to shut up. And then we meet B4. And when we met B4, I was like, oh shit, there's another lore type android out there. This is going to be a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
Right? I thought, oh crap, Nemesis is like, there's another lore type android out there, and he's found out what happened to the first lore type. And this is going to be like a final showdown.
They could have done that, but I don't know why they didn't follow that out there.
Oh, Hammer.
I just want to point out that the beginning of this movie has everybody celebrating Troy and Riker's marriage,
Yeah.
and there was a scene cut out that had Wesley in it.
Oh, was there?
Technically, Wesley was in this movie.
Well, thank God they cut that out.
And another thing is, this movie was supposed to be the first Next Generation movie, but they couldn't get the script right, so they kept pushing it back and pushing it back. It was originally called the Romulan War.
They should have just not made it.
Yeah, they could have done without this. But
This was supposed to replace Generations.
So they told Data to shut up instead of Wesley when they cut Wesley's scene. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of shut up, Wesley.
But if you look for deleted scenes for this, yeah, Wesley crushes it out.
Functional says it has some really, really bad moments in the DVD and some mostly okay moments and a few really great moments. I like it better than the other TNG movies. Oh, Functional.
You like it better than the other
What
TNG?
is wrong with you, dude?
He's got a point with Generations, so Generations, I really didn't like him.
I'm not a Nemesis. It just never made sense to me. Like, why would you waste instead of B4 being this other Sung type android that found out that would have been a great movie, but instead he's half broken.
Yeah.
And his one line is, "Why do you have a shiny head?" And then he's gone for the whole movie.
You could have done so much with B for it. I thought he was going to be an interesting subplot. I thought that the Riker Deanna Troi thing, I thought they could have done so much more with that. They could have developed something with that, and they kept touching on it and then dancing away from it. And I thought, that they keep almost developing a subplot and then not, and pretty soon 45 minutes have gone by and you're in the middle of this kind of boring stretch where there's this attenuated non-tension of the same old stress happening between Picard and his clone. Okay, we get it. We understand what the conflict is. You've hit us over the head with it. Oh, you're going to hit us over the head with it some more. Okay, boy, they're really mad at each other now. Okay. Oh, they're still really mad at each other. Okay, now they're attacking each other. Okay. They're still mad at each other. Okay. Oh, now the movie's over. Jesus.
Did anybody buy the SUV on the planet? They're looking for Data's parts.
Functional has
yes.
Functional has a great point. He says, on the heels of the Dominion War, having a Romulan break and a fracture in the Empire would have been great, especially since the Alpha Quadrant had taken heavy losses and it wouldn't have been huge fleets. You could have seen dogfights in space. That would have been really cool.
Oh, I see what he's saying.
Roasted opinions. Hi, buddy.
Roast came over. All right. Roast was just over at Irate's place. We were over there watching the Aiden Paladin show, basically. The Aiden Paladin Atem of the Hun show.
We have got to get Aiden on Star Trek at some point.
Oh, I think
I would love to talk Star Trek with Aiden.
Yep.
Never met her.
She's an amazingly warm person. She's a very personable person. Very nice. She's not a distant intellectual. She's a very, very smart person, but very, very warm. Just a real pleasure to be around. Honest to Pete, I was very.
Sounds like Peach.
Yeah, in fact, she is reminiscent of Peach Bailey. Anyway, so
But then, of course, we got Star Trek Picard, which timeline shat all over everything. Yeah, kind of did.
So
I mean, I didn't mind Star Trek Picard, but it did kind of pretend that a lot of things didn't exist. Um, I can't ignore that. I did, but I still liked Picard, and I'm kind of sad that there's not going to be a season 2 if you watch Doomcock at all. But yeah, we have this movie it had, like, as Dectran said near the beginning of the stream, Nemesis was milking the franchise until the nipples fell off. Yeah,
Why?
it was.
That's wild.
It was. I really just I felt duped, honestly, by the lack of, because I would have loved a movie about
that had a
Data
plot in it.
versus, I would have loved a whole movie about Data versus another Sung type android, not constricted to 45 minutes,
Yeah.
where they could have really developed some truly evil things for B4 to do. And they still could have, like, Brent still could have gotten his wish, right? B4 still could have killed him. And then, like, the Enterprise crew could have, shot him into space or something like that. I don't know. But this was just, nothing made sense, and there was no, like, it was a completely new idea, and it wasn't built up.
I have another objection about this, and that was Data's death. The way he died. Yes, it was a selfless death, but it felt,
Unnecessary.
yeah, and kind of just ginned up.
Do you know what would have made more sense? If we had had a thing where we didn't even have to see Data die, but we still could have ended Data's career in Starfleet, or his Data could have written himself a program, a self-termination program, because he is so bent on learning what it's like to be human that he's put his emotion chip in, right? He's all this stuff. Why not have him write a self-termination sequence?
I want to have that final human experience.
Yeah.
Well, that happens in Picard.
Well, I know, but I mean, why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Why not do it 20 years ago? Like, why did we have to have Data shoot himself out of a cannon?
I'm with you. That death was just so.
And he didn't even have a good
ordinary.
line. It was just goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye. Really? That's what we get? That's after everything we have invested in Data, all the emotion we have invested in all these guys, and especially in Data, as far as I'm concerned. And
Goodbye.
we get goodbye. Presses the transporter on Picard. Picard transports away.
Kaboom.
Goodbye. Yeah, that's it.
And all you hear from them is Data.
Yeah, and Picard shakes his head no.
There's no like
Skating to see if he survived or anything like that.
Not even that. It was just for the amount of they got more upset in the Most Toys episode.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, they were like
Geordi.
Well, to absent friends. Yeah, he was just a robot.
Geordi should have been like
inconsolable
on that transporter pad, like shoving Picard out of the way. Like, where is my friend? Why are we doing this? Right? Yeah. And
Of course, remember the transporter was down.
Oh yeah.
The only reason Picard got back was that self transporter unit that Data had brought to him. That was the only reason that Picard got back. That's why Data couldn't get back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Introduced in this movie.
Yes.
Yeah, introduced this movie. Another gadget. Miracle gadget.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot of asks of the audience, and just not much payback for the asks. The stuff about Remus, this major part of Romulus that is suddenly revealed to all of us who thought we knew something about the Star Trek universe. Well, no, you didn't know shit about Romulus, because all that time there was Remus the Moon, full of warrior-like slaves with amazing tech,
led by a Picard clone.
Yeah, led by a Picard clone, because that makes perfect sense. Because we needed it for this goddamn movie. Sorry.
Ugh. No, this movie.
I'm sorry,
made me very angry. This movie, and it made me angry. Those deaths of your favorite characters in movies that I have to turn off the movie and go away for 10 minutes and just cry, because it makes me so mad and it makes me so sad.
Yeah.
And there's no, and it's not a Data yes, Data would selflessly do something like that. But it just wouldn't play out like that for all the Data moments that we've seen.
This was an affront to everything Data was. This was a slap in the face of Data.
And I think honestly, at the point in the game, Brent was just tired of playing Data, and
he specifically said he wouldn't do this movie unless he was killed.
Yeah. And I think that had he not been as tired of it as he was, he probably would have said, "You know what? I don't want to die this way." What's wrong?
They should have allowed him not to be in the movie. I would say, okay, you don't want to be in the movie unless you die? Okay, well then you won't be in the movie.
Yeah.
Picard says, well, where's Data? And Riker says, on assignment in the Delta Quadrant.
Yeah.
Oh,
explains. On we go.
Yeah, exactly. That's the great thing about science fiction.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Say hi to chat and everybody, and then go upstairs.
But
there's a cute little face in the camera.
What noise?
That noise that my dad cooking dinner by himself.
Dad's cooking dinner is scary.
Dad's cooking. He's scaring us, Mommy.
It's too, Alex. It's cooking. I make that much noise when I cook. Yes, really.
But that one was way too loud.
Oh, what? The smoke alarm? Did the smoke alarm go off?
No.
Well, then what's your issue?
Cause that noise.
Alex, give me a hug and go play with your brother.
That noise.
You're fine. It's just the fan. It's the hood fan. That I figured it out. The hood fan is too loud.
It's frying. It's the only time I use the hood fan is when I'm frying. Anyway.
Functional says, I don't care if Spiner doesn't want to play or plays Data, or if RDJ plays Iron Man. If they want to stop, let them. Yeah, it's just we've had a lot of.
I don't think they should be permitted to stop. I think my needs come first, really.
Yeah. Well, they do this with the old cast when they're getting the thing with Spock to talk to about their new mission that they volunteered for. Kirk says, or no, it's McCoy says, somebody else says, where's Sulu? And Kirk says, on assignment. Captain Sulu, on assignment. And Of course, you see him lead it later in the movie, but they could have used exactly that same exact thing for this movie.
Oh, sure.
If Brent
Absolutely.
Spiner didn't want to, you don't want to do it? Okay.
Yeah.
That means that he stays
the
alive.
thing was, this was a big budget movie. In fact, do you know that Captain Picard, made a little bit of coin on this money? He made more money for this one picture, than he made for the entire amount of money that he made for all the years he was in TNG.
Well,
I want you to think about that.
I don't know how much he got paid for anything, but it is a big percentage, obviously. It's
Yeah.
51% of his total salary.
That's a lot of money.
He made a lot of money on this movie to be in this movie.
Oh man.
He made a lot of money. And,
I didn't think he wanted to do it either.
Yeah, well, I think he was a little bit reluctant, and
I think you can tell that a lot of the cast, like I would have really liked to have seen the reaction of the actors to the script.
Oh yeah.
To the script itself.
Yeah.
Well, I know Maria Sirtis and Jonathan Frakes wanted to continue their roles because they pressed Paramount for doing Riker and Troy and the Titan as a movie, so they wanted to keep going.
Yeah. And that might have been an interesting.
Yeah, it would have been fine.
Like I wouldn't have minded watching Riker as a captain, like actually being Captain Riker, and Troy being a captain's wife and counselor on board the Titan.
She was going to be his first officer.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
I actually think she might be a very interesting first officer.
Yeah. How do you take somebody who is all about emotion and make them not about emotion?
Make them essentially the nuts and bolts, get it done person.
Yeah. Wow. Wouldn't that be a nice dichotomy?
Yeah, I love that. I really like that idea. I think that be a very interesting role for, and I think she's a really talented actress. I think she would have a lot of fun with that role.
And the fact that it would have been Captain Troy and Commander Troy because of the Betazoid tradition.
Oh yeah, yes, that's right.
It would have been William Thomas Troy and Deanna Troy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed that.
I would have totally watched that.
You have the bridge, Mr. Troy. Noticed that when Picard was going away.
Yeah, you have the bridge, Mr. Troy. And there was a little giggle.
Yeah. Little titter of laughter.
More interesting than this movie. So Costin says Riker and Troy on the Titan would have been interesting. More interesting than this movie. Yep. Well, this movie just had so many concepts that had they had time to flesh them out,
they were exploitable, and they didn't exploit them.
Yeah. Like
they started to do a really nice revenge thing with Maria Sirtis going back against the violation thing against Remus creature who had the telepath, who invaded her mind, and when she and they could have done a lot. They could have written a whole subplot about that.
They could have taken the crew to some really dark places.
Yes, and
do you think this movie was just too much stories?
Yeah.
They tried to fit like 6, 7, 8 stories into one movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
too many ideas and not enough.
And all remain superficial. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate because had they picked like 3 out of the 6 and decided, okay, this one idea is going to be the main plot and these 2 ideas we're going to combine into the subplot, and we are now also going to bolster this with our big budget. We could have had a really good ending to TNG movies, and we could have had also an end to Data's life that wasn't a bitch slap to the face for the fans.
Yeah, it wasn't a hackneyed piece of junk, that would have been suitable for as great a character as he was.
Yeah.
And that was just ended with a whimper when he deserved a bang. One thing I did like was when they were driving that SUV on the planet, and Data remote piloted the Argo
That was
in
cool.
front of them, and they drove it into the drove it off the cliff into the bay of the back of the Argo.
That was cool.
That was fairly cool. I like that.
It didn't look to me.
It didn't look realistic. I know.
No, it didn't. The physics didn't look right.
Physics didn't look right. How did they stop? They would have been smushed. I thought of all that stuff too, but
it should have been more of an arc.
The concept was cool. Yeah, there's a lot of things wrong with it, but the concept was cool. Yes, I agree that the thing should have been going forward more and then decelerated to a stop.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. But
and Data should have known that.
Yeah,
because it's Data.
Because Data, right? Because Data. But
Functional
even
says,
so,
yeah, the Riemann Viceroy would have been a cool villain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were some potential for this movie to be good, but it just really wasn't.
Yeah.
They could have taken the whole storyline out with the clone. They could just remove the whole thing and just make the Viceroy the big bad guy.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Plastic truck.
Yeah, the whole clone storyline was a waste of time.
It made no sense to me. It was like,
Yeah,
why clone Picard? Why Picard?
Right.
Like, why not a Romulan senator? Why not the Romulan proconsul? Why Picard?
What do Romulans think of humans? Utter contempt. Well,
Yeah.
Why would you clone Picard then?
Yeah. Yeah, we hate humans. Let's clone one.
Right. Because reasons. Because we need a story. So that didn't make any sense to me. So I agree with you. I thought that was just a waste of time.
Yeah, they could have dropped the whole clone thing and then picked up what Dectran said, Picard and Crusher, and closed that loop. Either one or both of them have to, either they have to get together or they marry somebody else or something. Maybe Vosh shows up or whatever. But
damn, Functional needs to be a writer for Star Trek. He says, have them kill Shinzon in the scimitar, then have the Viceroy take over as the mastermind, fracture the Empire, and just have the war.
Yeah. I like what Roasted Opinion said. They made Nemesis to cash in one more time. He's not wrong.
Yep.
He's not wrong. So there you go.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but I think we've probably said almost everything you can say.
I agree.
About Nemesis. There just isn't that much to say.
They really couldn't have done another movie after this. I mean, they couldn't have done a true TNG. They could have veered off, like I said, with the Titan or something like that. But this crew has been together way too long.
Yeah.
Yep, I would agree with you. And you, at this point, it's just milking TNG.
Yeah.
So.
And I think people would have been okay with that. Like, had they veered off and done a Titan or whatever, I think they would have been okay with that. I think Trek fans would have, as long as there was a few of the crew, it would have been fine. I think, at least.
It would be nice to pull somebody from DS9 to throw on the Titan too. Maybe
like
Miles.
O'Brien, or O'Brien. He could have had enough of space station life, and they could have he could have brought Keiko and Molly back to
Yeah.
Keiko, Molly, and Yoshi back to space. Like,
They could have done so many things, and they dropped the ball entirely. It's a shame.
it is.
But that's the Star Trek business.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's the
just-
business side of the franchise.
It just is. Yeah.
And Functional says, "Fuck, why aren't I a sci-fi screenwriter? I don't know, Functional. You've got some pretty good ideas, dude." I actually wanted to write a fan fiction called Star Trek Intergalactics, called where we meshed the crew, some of the crew from Voyager and some of the crew from Next Gen, and they go on assignment exploring a different galaxy because of all of the technology that Janeway and the Voyager crew brought back with them on their exploration from the Delta Quadrant.
Delta. Yeah.
And they had trouble, and see, my basis of the fanfiction would have been that they had trouble acclimating back to Earth after so much time in deep space. So Starfleet decided to put a few of the crew from Voyager that were having trouble reacclimating, and then like have some of the Next Gen crew come and supervise them, and they have this new ship that's built to traverse galaxies, and like that was my idea for a
There was an episode of TOS where a race had come from Andromeda and gotten into our galaxy, and they wanted to get back home because they had found a planet that was suitable, and they grabbed the TOS crew and left our galaxy, was heading towards Andromeda. They reduced people to these hexagonal paper mache. I don't know if you remember the episode.
I remember. Yes, yes, I do. And one of them got crushed to bits, and it was the
Right.
girl.
Right, it was the girl on the planet. So that species came from Andromeda. It would be interesting to tie that into a new TNG episode.
that would be interesting.
There's so many
Yeah,
things they
but-
could have played with to do stuff like that.
Sorry, I've got dog issues.
That's okay.
It's-
Dog.
yeah. Anyway, yeah. Yes, I do recall it. I can't remember the name of that episode. That's driving me crazy. What was the
Ugh,
the
screw
little
Esri Dax. I hate Esri.
you're not a Dax fan?
No, I'm a Jadzia fan, not an
Oh, yeah,
Esri
okay.
fan.
I like the actor, but I don't like the part they played for her. She didn't fit that at all.
Yeah, because Costin was saying Esri Dax would have been a good fit on the Titan, as so would maybe Bashir. Nah. By any other name is the name of the episode. Says Functional.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So what would we like to do for our next topic?
We are at that
We're at that time.
we're at that point. Yeah, we're at that juncture where we have to what do we do?
I would have loved to see Commander Kira. Nope. Kira can fuck off. Commander Odo, on the other hand, that would have been cool.
Odo's awesome. I love Odo. Let's see. All right. So we've done our favorites. We've done the movies.
We've done two-parters.
We've done the two-parters. We've done
Do we want to start looking at some of the Trek books?
I don't have any Trek books.
Oh, you don't have any
I've
Trek
never
books?
read one.
Neither have I.
So I think we're not expert enough there. I would like to keep it to the
To the
to
shows.
what's on TV. Yeah, and the
I don't
movies.
have any Trek books, but I have had Trek books that I don't have anymore. I gave them away. I do have the
No, I'm not talking about Andromeda.
I did have the Peter David
Ooh.
book called Imzadi that gave you the whole backstory between Riker and Troy. I had that. It was a fantastic book.
Roasted said, next topic, most and least favorite characters and why?
Almost have to do that by series.
Yeah, from each series, said Functional. Good call, Roasted, from each series.
How about if we open that up
Then
and just go over each franchise, go over every character and give what we think about every character in that franchise. What we think of Picard, what we think of Riker, what we think
like the
of
main
Troy. Just grab the main cast and just go over
their personality.
each one of them, how they fit into the show, what the actor is like, all that kind of stuff.
I think that would be a good idea. Good call. Yay for roasted opinions and function.
Yeah, absolutely. We could do that. We could just offer whatever opinions we want to offer.
Yeah.
Just you're not required to. If you don't feel strongly one way or the other. There are going to be some characters. Is that true? I'm going to have something to say about everybody. Now that I think about it, I'm going to have something to say about everybody. So there you go.
And some of the characters will have fun, because some characters you just love to hate, and then some characters you just love to love, right? It's.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have fun with this topic.
Yeah, I'm going to be a little bit weak on some of the Voyager characters. I might be a little bit quiet about some of the Voyager characters, but I will be very long-winded on the TOS folks.
Oh, we have another Jeffrey Combs lover. Functional says Jeffrey Combs was the best Trek actor ever. He's definitely one of the best villains.
And
he's not a villain to me. He's not really.
We should have like little contests, like who's your favorite Vulcan? Who's your favorite alien, favorite Romulan?
Yeah.
That sounds like a good idea. Somebody write that down so we don't forget.
My favorite Vulcan.
Favorite Jeffrey Combs character, the Andorian.
Yeah, the Andorian. That's easy.
Definitely. Easy.
Hands down.
Easy.
Tran,
yeah.
pink skin.
That's funny.
Just the way he says it. Pink skin.
It's funny how he calls him all the respectful things, but if he gets angry at him, he starts going right back to the racist stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we know what you really think.
That just adds to the richness of his character to me.
Yep.
Yeah. So next week we're going to start off. Are we doing this chronologically? We're going to start off with Enterprise.
Yeah, we'll start with Enterprise, and then we'll go through the cast.
And then TOS.
So do we want to start with Archer?
Well,
do we want to go Captain down, or are we just doing the cast, like the cast of the show?
I guess we can start with the captain and do the entire cast.
Yeah.
Oh, Enterprise. I guess I'll have to watch some. All right.
Silent Enemy.
I
was telling Skep to watch the episode Silent Enemy.
All right, I'll watch Silent Enemy.
Yeah, that's of all the episodes, I think that's always been my favorite of Enterprise. It is the most Trek-like. It could have been a TNG episode.
Yeah. When he gets his antennae cut off, oh man, says Functional. Yeah. That was bad.
Okay, so
all right,
wrapping it up.
Yep, so next
Okay.
Saturday we will be starting with Enterprise, talking about Captain Archer. And, of course, tomorrow night we have The Blind and the Special with Pincalo and I. Tonight we have Minions of the Zoo, hosted by the Harry Channel, I believe.
Yes, it is.
And Monday we have, of course, the coffee stream. And, of course, if you feel so inclined, you guys can click the Streamlabs link. It will take you straight to the Streamlabs website where you can either donate or buy merch. We have shirts and masks and a tote bag and mugs and
Did you
pillows.
did you put the Blind Press Streamlabs?
It's in the description.
Oh, it's in the description. Okay,
Yeah.
Just want to make sure that you put it in the whatchamacallit,
Yeah.
because I'm going to put it in chat just for shits and grins. There it is.
We have
Blind Press merch.
lots of pictures that Pincalo has taken as posters and pillows, and we even have a Tycho's crater mask. So,
It's a crater gator, and it's
crater
off.
gator. Yep.
But the throw pillow with the eyes on it is seriously, it's one of a kind stuff. I mean, like one of a kind on the planet kind
Yep.
of stuff
And there's only 100 of them
on the planet.
on the planet.
Seriously, just
Get
say,
them while you can.
just say, you should buy them.
And if you're a girl, you should also buy an eyeball bikini.
Yes.
Or if you have a girlfriend and you know her size and you'd like to surprise her, you should buy one for her too.
That's right.
All right, well, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. I want to thank everybody for watching and thank my panel for joining me.
Thanks for having me, sweetie.
And I hope everybody has a safe and happy rest of their Saturday, and happy Thanksgiving to my Canadian friends. Have a safe weekend. Bye,
See ya.
everybody.
Bye, everybody.